Alright, another response video to this skeptical heretic guy who doesn't tag his videos, within Mendham anywhere. So I didn't see this until now. Well, anyway, it's kind of funny. I'm going to play his video later, and I printed out all the comments, big, thick volume. It's like a novel, all this tiny text, unfortunately. But these people are just so snarky. And so here he quotes a little part. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to have a conversation on the topic? And can we do this little dance of the mind? Or do you want to be a cunt? This is the idiotic part, is that he wants this more disciplined, respectful conversation. And yet he does nothing to seed that. You seed respect with respect. You're not going to get what you're not willing to give. And you don't give it in your videos. And To Be Serious has the same difficulty in understanding that you can't call somebody intellectually vacant or ignorant or ill-informed or something else without somebody taking offense of that, especially somebody who's informed, like somebody like Conference Report. And again, they're having a little argument in this text, and it's just so funny that Fred is awfully patient. Because she does this crap all the time. She basically commits slander against what people have said, and against the character of their argument, and how many times they have explicitly, over and over again, provided evidence to support their argument. And yet she keeps denying that existence. And people have a right to be offended by that. And to call somebody a slandering bitch or a fucking asshole. And you're claiming a right to do it gratuitously, okay? Just because you heard the word, somebody else said it, so you're just going to say it. You're not going to back it up with anything, though, you little fucking weasel prick. All right? I haven't slandered your position. I haven't come into your fucking house and called you shit. All right? I don't let a bunch of weasels talk crap about you. All right? I didn't get into your business. You got into my business, and you got into it as an arrogant, obnoxious asshole. You had a 5-year-old's argument, and you came into a 90-year-old man's discussion. I mean, I don't know how to exactly explain this to you, but you cannot argue a position that has already been argued hundreds, thousands of times. You made inane arguments. If you made another one in this video, you've made only one in this video, as with most of your videos, and it's a simplistic, idiotic argument, and I will defeat it again. And I'll defeat it on many fronts. And then in your video you concede that I made a point, and you just walk past it. You just concede the existence of the point, and yet you have no counter-argument for it. You provide no, oh, well, yeah, I'll concede that you're right about that. Well, then you're in trouble. Then you have to do something about that concession. You have to explain how you have evidence that overwhelms that concession you made. Well, it's a good point, and then you have to add something like, but I have a better point. And you don't have that. You decidedly don't have that. And so you have no right to be rude and obnoxious, and that's what you are. You want to deny you're rude and obnoxious? Then I think you're intellectually dishonest. There's no other word for it. So you get what you seed. Again, I don't just go out and insult people for no reason. I insult people because they come at me with nonsense, absolute nonsense, and they expect me to waste my time explaining to them rudimentary facts of evolution. I mean, this is almost back to the pyro thing, where, oh, you mean I have to unravel your creationist theory? You're going to come to me with some kind of bizarre theory of how the Grand Canyon was formed, and you're going to oblige me to give you a whole 6th grade education in earth science. I'm going to have to personally tutor you on mathematics or basic science, and I'm not supposed to resent having to do that. Well, I do resent it. I resent fallacious arguments thrown at me as if they have some authority or credibility. That's just bullshit, asshole. And so you deserve to be called what you are, an asshole. Now, if you'd rather me call you intellectually diminished or insufficient, mentally insufficient, you want me to come up with some other derogatory terminology like to be serious to insult you or your arguments? Well, I suppose I could do that. But why should I? Yeah, I don't really have to. But you people are just showing yourselves for what you are. You're hypocrites in the first place, because obviously you don't mind using the language. In the second place, you have nothing. You have no arguments. You just argue, oh, the other side doesn't have an argument. I know they don't. I know they don't. You're just like Christians saying, oh, the scientists are all full of shit. You're not doing anything better than that. Anything different than that. And that's the truth. Okay, so on to the argument. So in his video, he's now made this stupid argument that you can't stop life. Life is just too enduring. It's too durable. It'll come back. Well, as Conference Report points out, who cares? That's not the point. Whether it comes back or grows back doesn't change whether you pull a weed. You don't look at your garden and say, I'm not going to pull the weeds because they'll grow back. That would be idiotic. So obviously any suffering you can prevent, even for a short period of time, would be suffering prevented. Bingo. So yeah, you can't argue with that simple truth. But there's also the other argument that any circumstance can be dealt with a contingency. So you can't argue economics in a vacuum. You have to have, for something to work, you say, well, you put a regulatory plan in place to prevent this, this, and this, because those three things would destroy the effectiveness of the thing you're arguing for. So if your fear is, I mean, we haven't feared that Tyrannosauruses will come back, right? There doesn't seem to be a threat that the Tyrannosauruses are growing back, right? So yeah, obviously we can implement something to prevent, whatever sentient life from reoccurring on planet Earth. And if we wanted to be fail-safe and decisive about it, I'm quite sure, like I said, that we can destroy the planet Earth. We can, move celestial bodies and change their orbit in such a way that they will crash into this planet and annihilate it. So if you want a fail-safe, decisive solution, that would be one. We could also leave behind robots or even humans, non-sexual humans, humans that would be devoted to their service job of maintaining the planet in a sterile condition. So we can protect against these things. So it's just a bogus argument. And it just ignores the real argument. The real argument is about imposition in the first case, and about the nature of life, it being unintelligent design, made of the ingredients consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, and addiction, and that it can serve no justifying purpose. So the metaphor would be not only a fireman starting fires to justify the existence of firemen, but the analogy would also be firemen rushing to a fire as if to save something, and taking the higher risk of imposing death or injury on innocent civilians. Now, it can be justified when you're on a rescue mission. The human race is not on a rescue mission. It is not rescuing the dead from a bad place. It is raising them without their permission. So deal with that metaphor, and choose any one of them. Gambling with other people's money, any one of these metaphors, and explain how the metaphor is not applicable to the real ethics of this game. And regardless of end results, the bottom line is individual humans are choosing to play God. So that's another metaphor. They're choosing to say they have the authority, they have the judgment, the qualifications, the ability to take these bad ingredients, consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, and addiction, in this not great circumstance of a human race pretty much out of control, on the brink of technological destruction, and harsh, brutal destruction of their civilization. And they know how to play the game. They have the capacity, they have a license, they have the qualifications to be able to nuance that machine without tilting, without busting it, without breaking it, without doing something hideously wrong. Now that's an arrogant and bold, aggressive. That's the aggressive step. That's the one that has to be justified, just like the drunk driver. It's an out of the norm, special request kind of thing. If you're going to request the right to drink and drive, you have to be on a mission. Like your wife is pregnant and is hemorrhaging or some other kind of excuse. And unless you have a mitigating excuse for playing with this mess, some sort of mission statement, you've got nothing. Deal with those arguments. They've been made months ago in videos. You want to personalize this argument? Go ahead, asshole. I have no fucking interest in playing your drama games. I called you out for what you are, okay? You're a troll. You have empty arguments that have been decidedly destroyed in previous videos, and you're forcing people to pay attention to you, to answer you, and you're just regurgitating the same crap that has been fucking defeated over and over and over again. I have made at least 50 videos referencing the Drake equation. I have been over and over this stuff, and yet you continue to regurgitate it. In those comments that I may eventually read, you sit there and get into some meticulous argument with somebody about what suffering is again. Who the hell has time for this bullshit? If I fucking kick you in the nuts, you're going to know what suffering is. Are you going to tell me you don't mind spending an eternity with my foot in your nutsack? No, of course not. You know what suffering is, asshole. You don't need it defined. And if I have to do that, if I have to define what negative conscious sensation is and experience is, then it's a waste of fucking time. There's no point in communicating with human beings that can't understand what 10 million disabled people from World War II means. What it means to have 50 million people die brutally in a harsh and horrible war. If I have to explain to you what 6 million people in concentration camps, that means something, that I have to articulate to you and explain exactly why it's miserable to be cold and hungry and disease-ridden, then fuck you. You're a waste of fucking space. And the fact that somebody in your comment section would waste their time attempting to explain to you what suffering is, just shows that people give you way too much latitude. You deserve to be kicked in the nutsack for that argument alone. It is too infantile. 5-year-olds know what fucking suffering is. They don't need it explicitly defined. They know it. They experience it. They have their own personal evidence of it. That God kissed them right in the fucking face. They know that God for real. So you're just an asshole. You're a fucking troll, period. You waste people's time. And you want me to say what to you? Thank you? Well, fuck you. Alright. Some more on this Drake crap. But it's just never going to go away. So it is irrelevant to antinatalism anyway. It is quite irrelevant. But, so this asshole's arguing in his comment section about the Drake equation. And you're like, why are you even bothering with this nonsense, asshole? I have to prove to you that it's possible that this is a unique event, that Tyrannosauruses aren't coming back to planet Earth, that the dodo bird isn't coming back. You really don't understand anything. And you're, like I said, I'm going to have to give you a basic lesson on reality. Well, in reality, asshole, there's no such thing as an infinite container. So there's nothing to hold infinite. So it doesn't matter whether something has, if there are infinite permutations, the fact is infinity is never reached. You never get to the end of time. So you never roll the dice enough times for some events to happen twice. So the fact is, having an infinite reality does nothing to change the fact that some things may be a one-time unique event. Now, if we look at life on Earth, we have no evidence anywhere in the cosmos of a single intelligently articulated energy signal being produced, even though there would be elements of our own galaxy and certainly other galaxies that had billions and billions of years of head start on us in terms of a civilization occurring and developing. Now, at our present technological level, if we don't annihilate civilization, which it seems we quite probably will, but let's say we didn't, can you possibly imagine that in 1 million years we couldn't create enough noise that it would reach across time You know, so let's say we did that a billion years ago. A billion years ago, if we had a billion years of extra head start on technology. So I'm just saying there. So there's evidence right there that there's no intelligent life. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen routinely. That it's very, very, very fucking rare that it survives its own intelligence. That's step one. Step two, I've given you this argument about the fact that on our own planet, we don't have aluminum, reproducing aluminum cells. We don't have reproducing thymoid. We don't have reproducing quartz 80. We don't have reproducing metaphospholide. We don't have any other chemical composition capable of producing a reproducing machine. Nothing. And this one kind of reproducing thing, every reproducing thing on this planet is directly related to one single cellular event on planet Earth. So even this form of life didn't happen with one nuanced change. Not even one nuanced change. It didn't happen a second time. There's tons of environments on this planet, so you can't argue the chemistry or the pressure isn't right, because there's high pressure underwater environments, there's cold, there's hot, there's thermal vents, there's glaciers, there's all kinds of environments, and it doesn't fucking occur. All right, billions and billions and billions and billions of chemical experiments, and we have the direct evidence that in those billions of experiments, it happened one time. All right, and one, because it happens once, does not mean it's one in one. It means it's one in potentially trillions, gazillions, bazillions of permutations. The fact that you set up a numbering system, a lottery, and you draw a number, and the number comes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the winning numbers. Yeah, it's the same likelihood as every other number. But if it came up first, it would give you an illusion of order and of some sort of, like it was forced somehow. And that's just an illusion of the winner. The fact that we are the winner of this bizarre lottery corrupts our perception. We can't see it for what it is or what it could be. But you can't assume because it happened once, it's not unique. That's an assumption. And it's an assumption qualified by no evidence. You tell me, okay, asshole? Here's a simple question to you. How could you tell the difference between something, a lottery that had a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning and a 1 in a trillion chance of winning? You tell me how the winner could tell the difference. Okay, there'd be no way to tell the difference. So you can't sit there and assume because this happened once that it'll happen again. That's preposterous. Until you have evidence, you need more permutations. You need more results before you can draw those conclusions. That's the law of probability. You just can't draw conclusions off insufficient samples. And you have only one example of winning. So we don't know what the 1 in is yet. It could be 1 in forever. And that's a fact. Not a lie, not a distortion, not a manipulation, not some redundancy that these people keep complaining about. It's a fucking fact. And what you have to do is disprove it with a logical, factual argument. And you won't find that. Because I'm fucking right, asshole. And I'll continue to call you an asshole until you defeat one of my arguments with a piece of logic, with a fact. Refute something I say. Quote me directly and refute it. Or fuck off. I'm sick of you lying scumbags slandering me, my arguments, my reputation. Fuck you, cunt. Get it? I owe you nothing. You show no respect, you will get no fucking respect, you slandering twat. There. Enough fucking said. You get it? Now you understand? Douche. Huh? Yeah, really. Pull the fucking tampons out of your goddamn ears and listen. Yeah, prove me wrong, asshole. Okay, enough said.